Aging can be humbling. The body changes, energy drops, looks fade. Old desires may still be there, but the body no longer plays along the way it once did. And for many people, this creates a quiet kind of suffering, not just physical discomfort, but disappointment, embarrassment, restlessness, even grief. But the Buddha offered a radical possibility. You can have an imperfect body and still develop a happy mind. In fact, sometimes the very things that make the body less satisfying can become the doorway to freedom. In Buddhist practice, there is an important instruction: gladden the mind. That may sound surprising. A lot of people think meditation is about gritting your teeth, being serious, and forcing the mind to behave. But that is not the full picture. The Buddha said that gladness matters. A sense of well-being matters. A brightened mind settles more easily. A discouraged mind does not. So one part of meditation is learning how to lift the mind instead of always dragging it through struggle. One way to gladden the mind is through calm. You breathe in a way that feels soothing. You let the breath become comfortable. You allow that sense of ease to spread through the body. Even an aging body can experience moments of comfort. Maybe not perfection, maybe not youthful strength, but enough ease to let the mind settle. But there is another kind of gladness, a deeper kind. It comes through insight. It comes when you begin to see clearly that the things you chase through the senses never really satisfy for long. Pleasant sights, pleasant sounds, pleasant touches, pleasant fantasies. They come, they go, and the mind keeps reaching again. The Buddha says there is a kind of happiness in recognizing this, not a gloomy happiness, a freeing happiness. The happiness of no longer being fooled quite so easily. This is where the title comes in: Ugly Body, Happy Mind. That doesn't mean hating the body. It doesn't mean treating the body as disgusting. And it certainly doesn't mean shaming ourselves for growing older. It means learning to see the body truthfully so we stop building our happiness on something so unstable. The Buddha sometimes recommended reflecting on the body in a very direct way, not in a glamorous way, not in a romantic way, but as it actually is. Skin, flesh, blood, organs, bones. When you look at the body this way, you begin to notice something important. What we call attraction is highly selective. The mind zooms in on a few details and blocks out the rest. It creates a kind of tunnel vision. That is true when we look at other people, and it is also true when we think about ourselves. We want to feel attractive. We want to feel wanted. We want to imagine that if others desire us, then somehow we are more real, more valuable, more alive. But the Buddha asks us to look deeper. What is the mind really doing here? What is it hoping to gain? Why does it keep creating these stories? Why does it keep returning to this old game? This is not really about the body. It is about perception. The mind labels something attractive. Then it gets pulled in. Then it suffers. So the practice is not merely to criticize the body. The practice is to understand the mind that keeps getting enchanted by appearances. That understanding is liberating. And this becomes especially powerful in later life, because aging exposes what was always true. Beauty was never stable. Pleasure was never secure. The body was never fully under our control. When youth fades, we can either feel cheated by life or awakened by reality. That is the turning point. One of the painful things about desire is that it keeps promising resolution but never delivers it for long. You get something, then you lose it, then you want it again, then you chase it again. It is exhausting. Thanissaro Bhikkhu uses the image of a donkey chasing a carrot dangling just out of reach. That is what sensual craving is like, always leaning forward, always almost there, always hungry again. The question is simple. How much longer do you want to live like that? There is another option. You can train the mind to step back, to breathe, to see through the illusion, to recognize, I do not need to be ruled by this anymore. And in that moment, something surprising appears. Gladness. Not because you got what you wanted, but because you are less enslaved by wanting. That is a better kind of happiness, a more reliable kind, a freer kind. So if your meditation feels flat or your mood feels low, remember this. You can gladden the mind in more than one way. You can gladden it through calm, by breathing with ease. You can gladden it through gratitude, by remembering that you have this moment to practice. And you can gladden it through insight, by seeing clearly the things that used to trap you and realizing they do not have to trap you forever. This is one of the hidden gifts of later life. The body may become less dependable, but the mind can become wiser. The body may become less beautiful by worldly standards, but the heart can become lighter. The old chase can begin to lose its glamour, and freedom can begin to taste better than excitement. So no, this path is not about becoming cold. It is not about becoming numb. It is not about rejecting life. It is about discovering that liberation has its own joy, and that may be the deepest gladness of all. An aging body does not have to mean a bitter mind. An imperfect body does not cancel inner peace. You can grow older, see more clearly, want less desperately, and become more deeply happy. That is the promise of practice, not a perfect body, not endless pleasure, but a happy mind that is finally becoming free.